I'm not going to lie, Sony has been on fire in terms of news lately. They have a lot of cool stuff lined up and a lot of promises are being made. Let's talk about everything that has happened with Sony over the last few days. All right, so a lot has been going on with Sony and the PlayStation brand, and I think first things first, let's get right into one of the main items. That's their stock. They are working on beefing up PlayStation 5 stock specifically so that people can buy their console. I think both Sony and Xbox have had difficulty here, but Jim Ryan did a bunch of interviews, and that means we got a bunch of news to talk about today on this episode of Destin Talks late at night. So here's what he said. This was a Nikkei interview translated by VGC, Video Game Chronicle, I believe it is. Here's the quote. There are several reasons why PS5 was hard to come by, Ryan said. Supply under the new coronavirus was very complicated, and we had to limit distribution to online. The supply and demand for semiconductors is also tight worldwide. We are asking our suppliers to allow us to increase production, which will flow into the market this year. So that's the specific quote about hardware. They are working to get more consoles into the hands of more players. Now, Xbox does not release sales statistics for their hardware anymore. So Sony gets an easy win there. They're able to say, oh, we've sold millions and millions of consoles, and Xbox doesn't really have a comparative statistic. So Sony just wins there. What's really, really interesting is for him to say, we are working with suppliers to allow us to increase production. I'm sure Microsoft's doing the same thing. And the problem is the part, it's a really cheap part, but it's really, really hard to manufacture. So I have to imagine both companies are doing that. The reason this story is going around is because Sony actually said something about it, I suppose, recently. But I'll make an Xbox video for tomorrow talking about all this cool stuff that they've got going on. Both companies are on fire this week, by the way. So moving on, the next quote that a lot of people were paying attention to is that the PS5 will have more exclusives than ever before. I think it's been pretty obvious that they're making a lot of headway and work in terms of what exclusives they're working on. And I'm just trying to bring up the specific article that I want to reference here. Anyway, regardless, here's what they said. Again, this is from the Nikkei interview. It's in the same article, which I'll link to in the description below from VGC. The PS5 will have more exclusives than ever before. That's from Jim Ryan. We have been quietly but steadily investing in quality games for PlayStation, and we will make sure that the PS5 generation will have more dedicated software than ever before, Ryan said. We have repeatedly engaged in mergers and acquisitions, including Insomniac Games in the US. We will not rule out that option in the future. And some of the games coming this year include Ratchet and Clank from Insomniac. We know that's on the way. Returnal is right around the corner, and all the previews are saying it's great. Horizon Forbidden West is supposed to be coming this year, and God of War is coming later this year. So let's hypothetically say that they have one great exclusive every month. I think that's a solid lineup. I do look forward to Xbox getting there, but right now, I mean, that is a big win for Sony. Like, no question about it. They have great games on the PlayStation 5 platform, and it's exciting to hear a little bit that we have more great games coming. I hope that's not all we have coming, though, and I think that's why the community reacted so strongly initially to the take that, like, or the insider story that Schreier released, where it felt like they were focusing less on smaller games and all on the AAAs. Sony reversed their store policy this week, so that was definitely a positive win for them. They decided to keep the PS3 and PS Vita stores open. Let me open that blog really quick. So here's what they said specifically. Recently, we notified players that PlayStation Store for PS3 and PS Vita devices was planned to end this summer. Upon further reflection, however, it's clear that we made the wrong decision here. So today I'm happy to say that we will be keeping the PlayStation Store operational for PS3 and PS Vita devices. PSP Commerce functionality will retire on July 2nd, 2021 as planned. PSP, I mean, that sort of makes sense. You'll still be able to download your games. PSP is probably just too old of a console. I don't know. Anyway, when we initially came to the decision to end purchasing support for PS3 and PS Vita, it was born out of a number of factors, including commerce support challenges for older devices and the ability for us to focus more of our resources on newer devices where a majority of our gamers are playing on. We see now that many of you are incredibly passionate about being able to continue purchasing classic games on PS3 and PS Vita for the foreseeable future. So I'm glad we were able to find a solution to continue operations. Yeah, leave the servers on. Was that the solution? Just don't pull the off switch. I'm glad that we can keep this piece of our history alive for gamers to enjoy. Well, PR. Got it. So they reversed their store policy, but I got to give them props on that. I think that's really, really good. I think a lot of people were upset about the sudden and unexpected news. Now, I'm going to get into a few of the more controversial things that we talked about this week that we might have an update on. So basically, remember that C-bomb issue, the Cmos issue where the batteries were dying? I talked about it a few days ago. So basically, we're now starting to hear from Does It Play on Twitter that they are hearing that Sony is working on this problem and coming to a solution. That's the main update that we have there. Still nothing official from Sony, but that is a major problem. Basically, if your battery dies, your console's dead. Not dead, but you'll have to be connected to the internet. And as internet infrastructures, evolve over the years, it gets harder and harder to just connect to your Wi-Fi and do that. So that's a bit concerning to a lot of people, especially people from the Preservation Society. Hopefully it's true that that is being developed. Some ex-Bungie devs are partnering with Sony to create Firewalk Studios. That was a big win this week for the PlayStation brand. USB added, or the PS5 added USB extended storage. That was added on the PlayStation 5. That was a big win. PS Now. So something's going on in the back end with PS Now. They added 1080p support for PlayStation Now. For a long time, those games have been running at 720p and just looking all muddy. 720p just does not cut it if you have a modern television, especially for that service. And then what else do we have here? And then the controversial entry. Oh, the PS5 can now edit 4K 60 footage, which is something that Microsoft, hey, if you can improve your editing suite, that would be great. Here's what I want on my Xbox, because PlayStation does this tremendously well. Let me plug in a USB. Let me take my photos and videos off of my console and plug them into my computer. Right now, like having to use the cloud or having to use these other services to transfer stuff, it's really cumbersome. And I really, really hope that Xbox can make some improvements with their editing suite and with their file transfer tools. PS5 definitely has a huge win here. I will give them the nod because you can record like half an hour of 1080p footage. It's really great. And now you're going to be able to edit your 4K footage at 4K 60. That is really good. And finally, the controversial entry that was sort of leaked, PlayStation Plus is getting Video Pass. This is only coming to Poland, and it's going to be a part of your PlayStation Plus membership. Basically, you're going to get access to a bunch of movies. They're going to be rolling it out in Poland for a year, meaning you can just watch movies like Venom for free. So what does all this mean? So all of this has just happened in the last few days. We had the CMOS battery issue. Now we're hearing that they're working on it. They're talking about their tools. They're talking about this new Video Pass thing. They reversed their store policy. They're partnering with Bungie devs. They've added USB storage extension, 1080p support for PlayStation Now. They're talking about increasing their supply availability for the PlayStation 5, and they're talking about their exclusives on their console. So I talk about this a lot, about competition is good for everybody. And Sony finally is talking about some of the stuff that they're actually doing. And it's kind of nice to finally hear from them, because Xbox also has a ton of news. Just be sure to come back tomorrow, because I'm going to be making a video all about that, about what they've been doing. And they've been just posting massive wins all week too. And this is great because you know what? We're going to get a lot of wins from Sony. Sony has been getting a lot of heat the last few days. But if they're fixing the CMOS issue and the PlayStation Plus Video Pass isn't like a major announcement, it's like an additive thing to an already big suite of things that they're doing, I think that's okay. I realize they've been getting a hard time for this stuff, but in my opinion, this all sounds pretty good if you're a PlayStation fan. right? Let's hear the story that they continue to tell over the next few days. And hopefully it's in more than a Nikkei interview that's translated by a website. What is going on, Sony? They have something up their sleeves, you guys, and I expect it over the next few days. I think we're going to hear some really, really cool stuff during E3 and during the summer months, just down the line about Sony, and that's great. And I also can't wait to hear what Xbox has to say. Hey, thank you for watching. If you like these late night videos, that's just like a real quick recap of everything that I've heard about Sony just this week. And any one of those I could probably make their own video about. But thank you for watching. If you like these late night videos where I talk about what's going on with gaming, hit that subscribe button. Oh, I forgot. I'm like, what's it called? Oh yeah, ask them to subscribe. Yeah, so hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to know when I post stuff. I don't know what the bell does, but it's important. I don't really know why, but that's what all the YouTubers say. And then if you want to support this channel further than that, I have memberships turned on YouTube. Memberships are just a thing where you can support the creator directly. And what I do there is, as often as I can, I upload these videos immediately for those viewers. Sometimes I'm in a rush and I don't have time to do that, but I would say most of the videos get posted for members first. No ads, nothing like that. So thank you to those members who have supported me in that respect. Did I hit all? Did I say everything? Lots of good Sony news. Ask them to subscribe. Bring up the membership thing. Say goodnight and have a wonderful day. That's what I forgot. All right. Good night. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye, everybody.